What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in with me on this Sunday evening. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. You were able to rest, study, prepare for the upcoming week. Today, we're going to blow through some stocks, prepare for the upcoming week, develop a weekly watch list as we always like to do. So, without further delay, let's jump right into it. The first one I'm looking at here so far, BIGC. This seemed to have a good day here, running from 52 up to 59. We got the 200 day up here at 63, so that's the potential this could run up to. I could see definitely a nice little gap up happening with this name. Everybody was talking about CAR last week. Back on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, on Tuesday, this went on an insane move. Insane. Let's look at that real quick. So running from $180 all the way up to a high up there at $550. Pretty much running $300 to the upside. That's just unreal. Unreal. Friday, it looked like it had a nice little day, having a nice run up from 275 up to 300, so a nice $25 run. It's got room to run up to 350s, but this is more of a higher priced stock. $350 a share. Buy a few shares of this, you're going to have to put up a lot of money. But we can most definitely keep an eye on CAR, see how it performs next week, and look for any potential sympathy plays that may follow from a stock like this. So first things first, this is what we're going to do. Pull up our Discord here, go to our weekly watch list. And from here, we'll just start writing down tickers, throwing it on our weekly watch list. Weekly watch list. First stock, CAR. We'll throw that on there. We also seen a big runner in, what was it, FATBB, Fat Brands. This most definitely has a lot of potential left on it. A lot of potential. But this is more of a weird moving stock. So it started to heat up on Wednesday. Wednesday it starts to heat up. It goes from 7 up to 20. Pulls down to 11. Then rips up to 25. Crumbles and falls apart at the end of the day, going into the close back down to 12. And then the next day, rips from 12 all the way back up here to 25. Falls back down to 15. Perks up to 20. Pulls back down to 16. And from 16 on Friday, this ripped up right before the market opened and went from 17 here all the way up to $32 a share. Pulls back. It's holding up at that $20. That's really good. This has a good shot Monday morning, gapping up and ripping. Next potential run for this, $50, $75, $100. You don't know, but the potential is there. This is running, ripping, pulling back. It's getting people's attention. But this is more of a, what I like to call, account killer stock. If you get caught on the wrong side with a stock like this, it can destroy you straight up if you're not cautious and careful with your size. So FATBB, it's got potential. Be cautious with your size. I'm going to keep this bad boy on watch, most definitely. So FATBB is the next one. We've been seeing a lot of epic big runners this last week. I've noticed a theme that's been occurring a lot, which is short squeezes. There's been a lot of short squeezes going on across the board, and the markets, the S&P 500, the indexes are all squeezing up and pushing up to all-time new highs. So literally just what? A couple weeks ago, people were all talking about a correction, bear market, everybody was scared. And once again, buy the dip wins again. The bull market lives on. So let's pull up the SPY real quick. Take a look at that. So looking here on the daily chart with the SPY, back when it was falling down all right here, and it fell down below the 50-day moving average. It fell all down below it. It broke the long-term trend here. But then look at this just beast of a comeback. Just straight up every single day, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. From 440s, running all the way up to 470s. Next stop, everybody wants that 500. So watch for 500 be the next big level for the SPY. That's a pretty epic comeback. But with this rally, like it did right here, we didn't really get any pullback. So going into next week, we could potentially see some type of pullback back down to these levels right here. So watch for a pullback in the indexes going into next week. A lot of people were also talking about Tesla. Tesla, this thing just keeps squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. Going on an epic run from 800s all the way up here to $1,200. That's a nice $400 run on Tesla. Pretty much non-stop. Just kaboom, explodes to the upside. So very nice on Tesla. Very nice. Look at that 10-minute. All this consolidation here. Perks up. More consolidation. Boom, explodes. All that volume comes in. Beautiful on Tesla. And this thing is still holding trend as well. So watch for Tesla to potentially keep running to the upside. But be cautious, because that's a pretty epic run. You don't want to jump on the bandwagon. Stock already made a big move. Who knows how far this can go? Tesla is like the #1 shorted stock. It's been like that for a while. I don't know why people just keep shorting Tesla. I really don't. Even back before they did the split, Tesla went on an epic squeeze to the upside just before they did the split. When did they do that split? Right here. Back last year, back in August. If you guys remember that, Tesla did that split and it dropped the prices down to $400, $300 a share. And wow, what a $1,000 run to the upside from that. That's insane. Insane. Tesla's a juggernaut. You agree? Just a straight up juggernaut. All right, what else did we have pop off? Real quickly, I want to mention and talk about HUDI. This is a wild, wild stock. Wild. You guys remember not too long ago, we noticed that HYDI, every single day it was closing green for literally 2-3 weeks straight. this was closing green. And it was just holding the trend, holding the trend, holding the trend. And then it crumbled, fell apart, and then it came back and squeezed the life out of shorts. And this thing ran all the way up to $35 a share. So from 14 runs all the way up to 35, 36, and then crumbles back down here to 22. We're seeing a lot of insane moves in this market. HUDI, CAR, SAVA, FATBB, a lot of insane moves, a lot of opportunity. So things are starting to get a little bit out of hand. A lot of good opportunity out here. So HUDI, this is more of a high risk, high reward type of play. It's still lingering around. It can definitely shoot back up over 25, run to 30, run back up to its high at 35. But like I said, this is more of a high risk type of stock. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this on my back burner and just observe it, see how it plays out. Because this thing, as fast as it shoots up, it quickly crumbles and gives everything back. The spreads on this thing are insane. HUDI. So I'm not even going to mention it in the weekly watch list. Not even going to mention it. All right, what else did we have? We had a lot of stocks pop off. We had OCGN pop off last week. OCGN went on a good squeeze. That's what happened with OCGN. And once the squeeze is over with, there's no reason for the stock to be up that high. Shorts got the life squeezed out of them. It's going to come all the way back down to where it came from. So looking back on OCGN, this stock was trending up. And it had a good move right here. From 9 up to 13. And then quickly crumbled. Gave everything back. Falls down to 8. Then it goes on an epic grind. And runs all the way up to 16. Crumbles and falls apart again. Back down to 11. And then it gets a nice squeeze up to new highs. Running all the way up to almost $19, $20. Then after it touched 19, look at how much this got driven down the next 2 days. OCGN. From 18s all the way down here to $9.50. That's a $10 pullback pretty much, nonstop. We're seeing this consolidation right at 10. So OCGN, this could be a potential bounce for next week. I could see it bouncing up to 12, 13, maybe 14, maybe. But there's a lot of people trapped on this stock. You got to keep that in mind. People are looking back on this chart now, and they're seeing how quickly this thing crumbled and fell apart and how quickly it rebounded and came back. And as I like to say, the more obvious something looks, chances are it's not going to pan out. So people are looking at this. They're saying, wow, it crumbled and fell apart there. And then it had an epic comeback. Then it fell apart again, and it had another epic comeback right there. So all I got to do is buy the dip. Extreme volume on these days here. Everybody's trapped and they're in all up here. And you got to think of everybody who's accumulating as the prices get driven down. So any type of pop on OCGN, it's going to run into selling. Swing traders, day traders, averaging down, So OCGN, you're going to have to take it in levels. Most likely, it's looking like it's going to be dollar levels. So every $1 to the upside. So from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, just take it in levels. But I do like OCGN, so I'm going to add it to the list. If you guys have any stocks, feel free to comment what stocks you guys want me to look at, and I'll pull them up and take a look at it. So Sava was a really nice runner last week, going from $45 up to $100, $55 to the upside on Sava. So that's already, what, 5 stocks that we've talked about that went on insane moves to the upside. There's opportunity out here. But these moves, they're not happening with momentum. They're more of like swing trading type of plays. If we are seeing stocks pop, they're quickly doing it, and then there's no follow through, and they're crumbling and falling apart super hard. So this is more of a big picture type of market that we're in right now, with small cap stocks, low priced stocks. So epic big move on Sava. We can easily throw Sava on the weekly watch list to see how this plays out for any potential opportunity this upcoming week. What was another one? I just had it on my mind. We'll quickly talk about AMC real quick. So AMC ran from 35, runs all the way up to about $45. When it was running up to 44, 45, we looked into this and we said, when this pulls back, the key level for it to hold is going to be that $39, $40 level. That is super key for AMC going into the future. If you look up at the daily chart, it's got somewhat of a big wedge forming on it. You can connect it all right here. All the big gurus out there are drawing and seeing this wedge on AMC as well. So AMC, it's still in its wedge, working in this 40s area right now. 50 is a big resistance level for AMC. The thing with AMC is it's got a lot of levels to it. So it's got a lot of levels to break up through to actually get up and going. So you just got to take it a day at a time, a week at a time, and it's been a month at a time for AMC. So everybody's been holding on to AMC for just about a year now for that big epic supernova parabolic move. And we still don't know if it's going to happen. It could not. Just take it a day, a week, a month at a time. Nobody knows if it will happen, when it will happen. Just keep observing it. Observing it, that's all we can do, right? Take a look at GameStop real quick. Yeah, GameStop, pretty much the same scenario as AMC. Just keep tabs on it, keep monitoring it every day, every week. See how it continues to form and set up. Who knows where these could be next month, 3 months from now. Who knows? Just do our job, keep tabs on them. We know a lot of people are in on these stocks. A lot of people. Let's see what's going on with Ford. F. The Ford Motor Company. If you look on Robinhood, Ford is one of the top 5 stocks on Robinhood. There's a lot of young kids that are into this stock. So Ford recently goes on a nice run from 16s all the way up to 1950. It's getting a nice little pullback right now. I think F has a good shot at busting up over that $20. I like the way that it's pulling back, it's gearing up, it's been trending up. The float on it is 4 billion. So with a large supply like that, everybody jumps in and they're on board. This is like a big freight train. And once a stock starts going in a direction up like that and it's trending up, more people jump on. That freight train gets bigger, stronger. I think a big move is coming for Ford. Looking really good. What an epic run from $4 to $20. So from April to now, about 6-7 months it took for it to make that move. Like I just said, Ford is one of the top 5 stocks on Robinhood. So we could easily keep Ford on watch going into next week. This is more of a swing trading type of stock though. Take a look at PFE. Nice big up move there on PFE. Gaps up from 44, just underneath $50. That's such a big gap up for this stock. Gets a nice retracement pullback down here to 46. I'm looking when that gaps up like that from 44 up to $50. It's a nice gap up. Then it gets a nice retracement pullback around 50% from the previous day's close up to the high. I mean, you could easily draw Fibonacci retracements on that. And just like that, stock pulls back to that green line there. Nice 50% retracement on it. Now it's running back up, retesting that $50. This definitely could break up through that 50. And for 51, when we scroll out on this, $52. It could run up to anything over 52. This stock is hitting new highs, all-time new highs. People love stocks that are hitting new highs. And this is Pfizer. So Pfizer is a big name. So once again, PFE, this is looking pretty good. So I'm going to add F and PFE. I'm actually going to separate these. So I got the weekly watch list, and then I got bigger picture ideas, swing type plays, Ford, PFE, AMC, and Gamestop is on that list. Yeah, we can keep it separated like that. All right, let's continue on. So PFE, and we got IONQ. This went on a nice move. Still the same theme I'm seeing continue as we go into November. So going way back to September, October, we picked up real quickly that stocks were slowly trending up on bigger time frames and then getting those euphoric explosions to the upside. Everything's pretty much melting to the upside. So everybody's winning right now. Everybody's winning. All you got to do is hold and you're in the money. That's what we're seeing across the board. You buy in, stock crumbles and falls apart. Couple days go by, stock's right back at new highs. So this is an easy market for bag holders because they're all winning. That's what I'm seeing going on across the board. You buy into something, heck, it can go red, crumble, your portfolio go negative 50%, no sweat. 2 days later, up at all-time new highs. That's what we're seeing. So IONQ running Friday from 1750 right up to that 20 bucks. 30 million flow. Ooh, I like that daily chart. Let me fix something here. I don't know why it's not showing on this one. I'm going to have to bring over this daily chart. So right here, if we look at IONQ, we got a nice little squeeze going on right there with the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. That 50-day is just crossing up and over that 200-day. That's what we in the finance world and day trading, swing trading world call the golden cross. So let's write that out. The golden cross, when we have the 50 SMA, all right, so take a snap of this. This is how you guys learn. File, save as. Golden cross example. So take a snapshot of that if you'd like. This is how you guys learn in the markets. You take snapshots of these charts, study them, break them down. Upload. Where do we got it? Golden cross example. IONQ. It's another stock we can keep on watch, most definitely. IONQ. It's been trending up from 1650 up to 20. I would like to see a nice little pullback on this. Just observe it, see how it wants to play out. Man, there's actually a few ways you can be looking at this chart. There's a few examples. So one, you got the instant trend line you could slap on it. It's been trending up nicely. And then you also have, you can draw out a wedge on this. It's breaking out from that wedge, pulling back, holding, and continuing to trend up. IONQ, very nice. The big picture type of trade. Next up, LCID. Nice. From 37 running all the way up to 42 bucks. Epic. We could easily throw LCID on the list too. Nice consolidation there at 37. Dips down here to 36. Rips back up. Probably caught shorts off guard there as it started to crumble down below 37. And it held there at 36, and it just instantly reversed and went the other way, just squeezing up. Let's zoom in on that. So right there, you could draw instant resistance line right there at 37.50s. And gradually over time, this was making higher lows, forming this tight big wedge here. People were anticipating for it to get tighter and tighter and tighter and squeeze up over and out of that wedge here. And when it failed, you extend that out. When it failed and broke down through that triangle wedge here, shorts were like, bet this is going lower. So they all start to pile in on it. And then this thing just rips right back up and squeezes all of the short. Psych your mind, and boom, all the way up. Nice, healthy pullback, continuation move right there. Beautiful on LCID. So LCID, this is probably going to get a nice gap up come Monday. And then it's going to get that morning sell off. And then look for a move later on in the week or maybe at the end of the day. This needs a pullback after breaking up like that. It's got a lot of room to run though. Bluebird. Getting demolished from 25 drilled all the way down to 13 bucks. I'm not sure why this is down. Did they miss on earnings? reports results for quarter ending September. Bluebird Bio post wider quarter 3 loss, higher revenue. Bluebird expects to move about 425 employees to its new headquarters in spring of 2022. Bluebird misses by 51 cents, misses on revs, complete spin-off of 270 Bio. Yeah, that's a pretty big sell-off on Bluebird. Look at how it did this, though. So you got an error in the chart right there. It has not filled that error. Got a gap down there. That comes up and it fills that error and void in the chart with this up move. And then it crumbles and falls apart again. It's going to be a long time if it ever potentially tries to fill that error right there in the void in the chart. We can keep BLUE on watch for maybe a dead cat bounce, but this stock is so beaten down. I mean, look at that. You can easily slap a line on this. This thing is getting drilled into the ground. Literally drilled into the ground. Yeah, I'm not going to focus on something like that. A lot of selling going on. Bkkt. Ooh, yeah, Bkkt. This was a popular one last week. So Bkkt was that big recent runner a couple weeks back. Since then, looking at this daily chart, the last 5 days have been red. And if you've noticed with Bkkt, it likes to pop, but then give it right back. So we are seeing spikes on Bkkt, but they're very short-lived. Every single time this stock pops, it just gives it all back. Going back to right here. Got a nice pop right there. Gives it all back and then some. Then it wanted to start to go sideways. Getting nice little pops, give back. Pop, give back. Pop, give back. Pop, give back. You got to be really fast with Bkkt, but I do think that this is still worth watching, most definitely. I like Bkkt. I think it still offers some good opportunity down the road. We just have to, like we do here, observe, see how these want to play out. Wait for that opportunity. GEO getting a nice trend up. Volume's too light on that one. Let's look at Robinhood. Okay. Robinhood, nice explosive move here from 34.50 up to 37.50. That's a $3 move. Since then, it's been pulling back and consolidating at 36.37. Potentially gearing up for that next move higher. This could push up to 38, 39, maybe $40. Take it $1 at a time. Hood is more of a swing type play for sure. So we'll throw Hood on that list. HTZZ had a good run. When was it? Wednesday? Friday, Thursday, Tuesday. Running from 30 to 46 and then giving everything back. Now, BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, this one was a bit of a weird mover. I can see, man, this was a really, I could see a lot of people got stopped out probably last week. And then the stock would come back and then run up higher. Look at the games they played here on Bed Bath & Beyond. So an epic big run here from 16 runs all the way up to $32. After that, got drilled all the way down here to $20, $19. After they drill it down, and then it starts to go sideways right at that $20. That's a good psychological area, but it broke and fell apart right there on Friday. Right there. This fell down to $18.50, just about. So it falls down through that $20 down to $18.50, which is $1.50 per share. Then they turn around, bring it back, and give it an epic squeeze up here to $24. That's a nice $6, $5 squeeze right there to the upside. Very nice on BBBY, and this is the same setup, and it looks very familiar to the one we just talked about and covered. What was the name of that one? It pretty much did the same thing. Same thing. So BBBY, I think it made its move. I don't really see this going up much higher. I don't. I think it had its bounce right there. It really needs to push up over 24 for volume to come back into this. That's a wild move there on BBBY. It all happened so fast, too. Who knows where this opens up on Monday? So now let's quickly run through this watch list here from all the stocks I accumulated last week and see which ones are worth keeping our eyes on. I'll start from the bottom, work my way up. So first up, DCPH. This was a big gap down on DCPH from 35.36 all the way down to $9 a share. On Friday, this was looking like it was gearing up and consolidating right at $9, gearing up for that $10 break for a dead cat bounce, but it just never happened. The stock opened up at $9.50, dips down to $9, comes all the way back up here to $9.80, pulls down to $9 again, works its way up to $9.50s, and then falls down below $9 to $8.75. I mean, it's still hanging around. That trigger level for DCPH is going to be 10.50. So if DCPH can get up above that, it's worth keeping an eye on, because look at that big void in the chart. That big gap right there. That's an error in the chart. So when we have an error in the chart, a lot of times we like to see stocks come back up and try to correct that error. But being that this is a pharmaceutical stock, that's kind of hard. It may attempt to fill some of this big gap here, but this is more of like take advantage of the opportunity if it comes along. We just keep tabs on it and monitor it. So DCPH, I'm going to add this to the list to see if it gets that push over 10. We could see a nice run on it, maybe down the road. Keep it on tabs. I'm actually going to put an alert on this. I'll put it at $9.80. So if this stock comes up to $9.80, it'll alert me, and then I can re-pull it back up, re-examine the situation, and take it from there. You know what popped off last week on Thursday and a little bit on Friday? And everybody forgot about this name, including myself. I moved on from it. Redbox, RDBX. This stock, looking back on it, was a big mover. Way back right here. At the end of October. Going from 12 up to 20, and then running from 20 up to 27. But then it crumbled, it fell apart, and then it just didn't do anything for the next couple weeks. So fast forward 2 weeks, on Thursday, now this is why we continue to keep eyes on stocks days and weeks after they make a big move. Because look at how fast this ran up, and how much opportunity was to be had on a stock like this. So right at power hour, 3 p.m., this stock, right at 3 o'clock, starts to perk up at $12 and runs all the way up to 17. From 17, it pulls down to 14, and then from 14, it explodes all the way up to 19. So from $12 to $19. It's a nice $7 move to the upside. Power hour. And then fast forward into Friday, the next day, we know everybody's got this on their watch list because how much it ran on Thursday. So on Friday, This pulls back, it holds up right at that $15 level. And from 15 runs all the way up to 18.50. Nice $3.50 run. Right there, the first half hour the market opens on a Friday. Boom. In and out, done for the day. You just got to be around and wait for these opportunities. Stalk these stocks. You're like a predator. You're like a wolf out there. You stalk your prey, you wait for that opportunity, and you pounce on that opportunity. I get asked a lot, and a lot of questions come my way on these types of stocks. Well, how do you know they're going to run and make their move? How do you know that much opportunity is to be had on these types of stocks? Well, for you members that have been here with me every single day, and you've been here for 6 months to a year, how many times have we seen this same scenario play out over and over and over again? We're here every day. We study these charts. We monitor these stocks for days and weeks after they make their first big Green Day run. We see the same thing happen time and time and time again. And after seeing it so many times, you just develop a feel for the stock and the play. You anticipate it before it happens. Does that make sense? So that's how you just got to get used to the environment. I get it. You're brand new. You don't know what's going on. You've never seen stocks rip like this before. It's all new to you. So you're googly eyes. You don't know what to do, what to expect. You're freaking out. Get a few of these under your belt. See it a few times. And then you yourself, you'll start to get used to it. And then you'll start to anticipate these moves before they happen. And when they start going, that's when that memory triggers in your brain. And then you just react to what you're seeing. So we see this stuff time and time and time again. But going forward for Redbox, I don't think it's done. We may get another nice pop on it. I mean, Redbox, that's a pretty big name. So I'm going to throw RDBX on the list. Not on the swing type plays, but RDBX. There we go. Ooh, EVAX. Now this was a disappointment. This had a big explosion after hours there. From $6 a share, it explodes all the way up to $50. Pulls all the way down to 15 and was in a nice range. Nice $10 range after hours there. Right there from 14 up to almost $25, 24, so 14 to 24 I'll say. That's a $10 range back and forth. Right there. That somebody could have taken advantage of. Just back and forth it goes. Before it fell apart. So let's see how many times this 1, 2, 3, I'd say 4, 5. 5 times this bounced right off of 14 a share. So 5 different times equals out to, and it's a $10 range, so that's $50 of upside potential in a play like this. And all you got to do is nail it one time out of that 5. Get in, get out, get that money, secure the bag, move along. Study these charts, break them down. Like I teach you guys out here. Everybody looks at these charts differently. We all see opportunities in different areas. A trading strategy off of just basic back and forth range. That's it. Just focus on finding stocks that are in a trading range, back and forth. You can consistently pull money out of the markets just by that one simple little strategy. After it broke that 14 bucks, this was downhill, down to 11, getting a big gap down here to 7 bucks. So looking at this chart, this should be a perfect example. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this. And I'm going to write something. So perfect example, these stocks are garbage. As day traders, we trade the opportunity. Stock has volume. Oh, I messed up there. Stock has volume and range. I can't delete that. Stock has volume and range. It's tradable. Next day, something new pops up. Once again, take a snapshot, save the chart to your files. Most of these stocks, when they pop up, they're in play for one day and then they fade out all the way back down to where they came from. So as day traders, we simply show up to take advantage of when the stock is in play for that day and that day only. We know these stocks are going back down to where they came from. They're garbage. Something new always pops up. BTTX, that's done for. Just talked about RDBX. PETZ. This is trying to linger around. It's really got to push up over that $5 for volume to come back into it. I'm just going to put an alert at $5. I'm not even going to add it to my watch list. If that alert triggers, I'll pull it back up, re-examine it, but this stock, it needs to prove itself. It is setting up, but it could easily fall off right back down to $3, $2, $1. NRDS, I like this one. It's a newer IPO. First day it opened, it exploded from 23.50 all the way up to 34.50. So it's showing us that it can move and it has range, which equals opportunity. It's pulled back and it keeps pulling back. It's holding 25. This thing gets any type of upward momentum. We could see good opportunity on this name. I like NRDS. Keep eyes on it. OLB. Nothing's going to happen. RFL. This was on Swing Watch for that break and fill of the big gap here for any chance of some fill in that. We knew it had the opportunity to run up to 10, 12, maybe $13, but this stock just simply stalled out at $8. You could see it clear as day on the 1 minute. It ran up here to 9, fell down to 8, 750, then it came back up to 825. 2-3 times it stalled out right at 825 and right back down it goes. So it's not ready yet. Once again, this is something that we put an alert. Trade price increases to, I'm going to say, $9. If this alert triggers, I'll pull it up, reevaluate the situation. RFL and CRTX were the two we were looking at, because they recently both had big gap downs and they were gearing up for a nice break to try and get a nice dead cat bounce. This thing still is gearing. See, back a few days ago, it had a good run here. From 13.50, it exploded all the way up to 18.50. That's a good $5 per share run. Then after that run, it pulls back down, consolidates for a few days right here at $16. And then going into Friday, I mean, this was an easy trade. Running from 16.50, runs all the way up to almost $18. So a nice $1.50, $1.25 run right out of the open right there. Pulls back down, holds 16.50. It's just slowly gearing up. CRTX, it still has a lot of opportunity in it. CRTX going on the list. FGF. That was a good explosion on it from 450 to 8. That stock, it may have a bounce, but it's not going to be much. DUZI running from $11 to $16 on this day. Since then, it crumbled. Then it went into consolidation, resting. Now it's continuing to crumble. IRNT. This one was a good one. It was setting up so nicely. It recently got destroyed. Then it was setting up. When you look back on this, it got destroyed. Then it was starting to perk up. We were watching it right here at this $12. It was just consolidating, gearing up. All it needed to do was break up through that $13, and this thing was going to lift. But every single time it popped to 13, it got rejected hard. How many times? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it got rejected at $13. But still, you could have played a nice range on this. From $11.50, $12 up to $13 there. I mean, there's just opportunity back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on this if you're a swing trader. It's a nice $1.50 move right there. 1, 2, 3. So on the 4th time, it fell through. So 3 times. You had the opportunity for $1.50, so that's $4.50, $4.50 range to the upside on this range. IRNT, it really needs to rip back up over 12.50 for volume to come back into this. I'm not going to add it to the list. All right, so let me delete these stocks on the list here real quick. We're about halfway through our list here. ABVC, this stock got crushed. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 5 straight red days. It's really got to break up over 450 for it to get up and running. $1.8 million float. Maybe it has a good snap on it, but it's going to be fast. DWAC. This was the stock that Trump, his social media platform. This stock had a lot of attention, a lot of it. But since then, it's just been getting beat down. It's pulling back very, very tight. But we can still keep eyes on this stock. Because any type of upward momentum and it breaks that downtrend, this thing could easily rip back up to 100. Easy. So DWAC, just keep monitoring it. There's still opportunity there on it. ACHR, nope. UA, nope. DM, nope. Talked about HUDI, BENE. This one, just like RDBX, Redbox, this stock was in play for one good day. And then it crumbled and fell apart. And just by observing a big mover stock like this, yeah, it took 2-3 weeks. But when this finally ripped, this thing went from 10, ripped all the way up to $12, $2 a share, right at power hour. Real quickly. And then crumbled and fell apart right back down, and then some. And then going into the next day. Pretty much, this is what we were just talking about, you guys. This is how you anticipate this stuff before it happens. This is a perfect example. So look at BENE here. To the T, right there at 1500, so 3 o'clock power hour, starts ripping and explodes up $2 a share at the end of the day power hour. The next day, right out of the open, gets a nice little pullback down to 1050, then boom, explodes up to 1150, a nice $1 rip. Now visualize that chart here. Now let's look at RDBX. Zoom in on this. Look at that. It's pretty scary how to the T this pattern is. Right there. 1500, 3 p.m. power hour. Starts perking up from 12. This thing exploded up to 1950. Fell apart, crumbled down. Then the next day, going right into the open, stabilizes there at 15, and then boom, rips up to 1850. So real quick again, RDBX, remember this pattern here. Power hour, explosion, pulls back. Next day, few minutes after the open, you get a nice spike. Go back to BENE here. Zoom in on this right here. Boom. 1500, 3 p.m. power hour. Explodes to the upside. Crumbles, falls apart. Next day, goes into the open, stabilizes. Nice $1 rip right there. That's perfect example in your face, straight to you guys, that these patterns happen over and over and over again. It's just all about getting a few of these under your belt, seeing them. Then in the future, you see it before it happens. You see the potential. You burnt these images into your head. So that's a perfect example. And that's where it really pays in this game if you have a really good memory. If you have a really good memory and you can remember things, or even like a photographic memory, you'll thrive in this market. You will. Everybody's out here all looking for patterns. That's all they're doing, is looking for patterns. So that's a good example there on BENE. I'm actually going to flip this. Save replay. Hopefully that's saved. LDI, nothing. NETE, it won't pull the chart up, but that was a good one last week. SBEA, once again, these are garbage stocks we trade, guys. The stock was gapping up pre-market, 1575, and then just got destroyed all the way down to 10 bucks. No bounce whatsoever. Bkkt, I think we added this. Nope. Yeah, we did. Right there. Bkkt. SDIG. Nope. Getting through this list pretty quick. We're almost there. CRTX. This is yeah, the same. CRTX. We already talked about CRTX. We talked about OCGN. EQOS. All right, this is a good one too. EQOS. Yeah. Daily chart looks fantastic, phenomenal. It's gearing up. Big level for this is going to be $7. $7. It's gearing up. It's got the potential to push up to 650, 7. It breaks over 7, 750. Over 750 is when it can really start to rip. Yeah, I like EQOS. BRAR. Low float stock. Almost up near its highs, but it's gotta get volume and back up at its highs. HYRE. That's looking like it's wanting to build up. BE. Bloom Energy. Look at that run. Friday. From 28, ran all the way up to 34 bucks. It's a nice $6 run. GREE, nice explosion from 23.50 explodes all the way up to 27.50. Nice $4 rip. Yeah, we can throw GREE up on the big picture ideas list. It's definitely got some potential to it. MTTR. It was a good mover last week. Getting a nice little bounce on it right now. Volume's a little bit on the light side. I don't think it's worth paying attention to. What's up, Calvin Jones? How we doing, buddy? BGFV. This one had a really good run. Look at that. So earlier in the week, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, right here is when it just first started to perk up. Monday, Tuesday is when it first started to perk up. And then Wednesday, it started to ramp up right there. Thursday, it got that parabolic push. And then after it squeezed up, it crumbled, fell apart. Good run from $24 starting out, running all the way up to $42. Pretty much a $20 run to the upside, all within, I'd say, 3 days. Beautiful run. BGFV. This could bounce. If it breaks over 32, it'll run to 34, 38, but it's going to be hard with this one. Hard. A lot of people got trapped on that. All right, let me go through this. See if there's any stocks here worth pulling up and looking at. See what you guys were talking about here on Friday. CCIV, that changed its name to LCID. We already talked about that one. You guys were talking about GREE, BBBY, Bkkt. Sava. All right, yeah, you guys were all on top of it on Friday. What also went on a good run was AMD. I remember somebody called out AMD here on the stream early last week, I believe. And we were talking about it when it was at 120, 125. This thing ran all the way up to $140 something dollars. $141. So a nice extra $20 run, $40 run on AMD. A lot of these large cap names are exploding. I wanted to go through the top percentage gainers here real quickly, but all of these are light on volume. TETV, it's got a lot of resistance though. I think I like this list that we came up with going into Monday. I'm actually gonna publish this list. So if you guys are in the Discord right here, every day and every week, I try to put out my watch list for you guys. So if you're following the channel or if you're a part of the community here, then you guys can see my watch list every day and my weekly watch list. So we published the weekly watch list, all the stocks that I like going into next week. And then Monday, pre-market, we'll see what gaps up. Now with my weekly, I gotta import all this into Street Smart Edge. CAR, FATBB, OCGN, Sava, IONQ. If you guys have any stocks you guys want me to cover or talk about, break down, leave a comment in the stream and I'll be happy to pull that chart up for you. DCPH, RDBX, CRTX, FPFE, AMC, what AMG, AMC, GME, Hood, and RDS, DWAC. It's a lot of stocks. EQOS, GREE. That's it. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 stocks. Total of 19 stocks in the weekly watch list. That's not even counting stocks that will gap up Monday. So every week, based on how big my watch list is, I can tell myself, like, hey, we're in a good market right now. Because I've had times when the markets went to crap, and I might have only had one stock, maybe two, if none, on my weekly watch list. But by your going off your weekly watch list, you can get an idea of how strong this market is and how much potential is out here. With 19 stocks on my weekly watch list that all have potential, that's pretty good. It's a lot of opportunity, potential opportunity. You agree? So one more thing, in case you guys didn't hear, I think it was Friday, that stuff that happened in Houston. What was it, Astroworld? That's pretty devastating what happened at that festival. You guys didn't hear about it. What was it? 8 people died and over 100 people hospitalized from that concert festival. What is it? Astroworld. There we go. Pretty crazy. Yeah, it was Travis Scott. So Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in Houston leaves 8 dead, hundreds injured after Friday night crowd panic. And the big dilemma with it was there were so many people at this festival and up near the crowd. If you've ever been to a concert and you've tried making your way up close to that stage, you know how crammed packed it gets and claustrophobic it gets. And with it being Houston, I can only imagine the humidity and how hot it is in Houston, way down at the bottom of that state near Mexico. People easily passing out, getting squished and trampled to death. And then they had a surprise guest. Drake made an appearance, and people went even more nuts. But what the big thing is, all this was going on, the paramedics and police were at the scene, and they didn't stop the festival. And all these people are jumping on the paramedics' car, the police car, and jumping on the cars and dancing. And they didn't even bother to stop the festival. So it's a big ordeal. This is trending right now. So thoughts and prayers go out to the victims' families of this horrible tragedy here. That's wild. That's wild. That dude got paid. He performed for 30 minutes. $30 million. He profited. That's wild. Yep, they even have videos here. That's wild. Man, straight up no F's given. People are dying and you're over here jumping on the emergency vehicles like a clown. That's sad. All right. With that being said, I had somebody here commenting ANVS. Looks like that was a good run here on ANVS from 30s running up here to 45. Yeah, that's a good run on ANVS. Who knows if this continues and gets a gap up on Monday? That's really hard to say. I mean, this thing could easily fall back down to 38, 37. I would say 30. I would say a pullback to 35. Let it pull back down to 35. If that can potentially hold, look for a continuation move. But this is a biotech stock. And you know how I kind of feel with biotech and pharmaceutical stocks. They're not swing trading types of stocks. They're not. They're just too risky. And looking left on ANVS, this had one good spike right here, and it gave everything back. And out of all the stocks that we've looked at tonight, how many times have we seen stocks run up and then give back everything? We've seen it a lot. This is like we've said, a big picture type of market. You got to be very patient with this market we're currently in. Pay attention to the big picture. And a lot of these moves, you got to react to them. Jump in, get out, be done with them. Because we're seeing a lot of real quick spikes. And then they completely crumble and fall apart. As Ricky Bobby says, if you're not first, you're last. Right? ANVS, we can keep it on watch going into next week. It never hurts to monitor a stock that catches your attention, right? And then also DATS, this bad boy keeps perking up, but it did fall down below that $8 down here to $7.50. DATS, this is a wacky stock. A wacky one. DATS though, it really needs to get up and over 850, I would say, for any type of continuation move. So DATS, this thing gets a lot of random surges. Random, out of nowhere, left field, $2, $3 surges to the upside. Calvin Jones. Very well, thank you. It's always good to see you showing up, Mr. Jones. DNA Investments, thanks, Mr. Wolf, for what you're doing for us. The stream is such a help for the upcoming week. Hey, no problem, my man. No problem at all. We're all out here patiently waiting for opportunity together. The tricky part is timing, having that patience to wait for the setups, and the discipline to be very selective about what you trade. Remember, things can be all good and dandy, but then all it takes is for one click of that button, and then you're instantly regretting it, and you just flushed away weeks of hard work. So how many of you guys ever had this happen where you'll just be on a roll? You're consistently coming in, you're locking in profits, $500, $400, $1,000, $500, just locking in, killing it every day, locking in these profits. And then one day, you just run into problem after problem. And then before you know it, you just gave back a month's worth of hard work. And you ask yourself, how did this happen so fast? How did I go up, being up 20,000, for example, and now I'm back at maybe positive a couple thousand? So risk management is always a priority. Monitoring the current situation, your thoughts, where you're at, because things can easily get out of hand. Easily. Look at how fast HUDI crumbled and fell apart. One moment, market opens, it rips from 25 to 36. You get blinded and caught up in the moment. Wow, this thing just exploded up $11 a share. It starts to pull back, gear up right at 33, and then boom, flushes down on you to 27 and is halted. Reopens, boom, flushes down again to 24. Coming week here filled with opportunity. So get a good night's rest. We'll see what's gapping up pre-market on Monday. And I'll see all of you guys in the Monday chat. As I always say to you guys, have that patience, have that discipline. Study, study, study. Later, you guys.